This is an open letter to my friends and folks with regards to that question that I was asked some time ago. The question was, what do you think that is this a some belief that a lot of Georgia has traditionally? Oh, this there is it's all there is a Jewish conspiracy with regards to the way the affairs are in the world today, and sort of like, no, not really. No, because of this and because of that and because of that, and I'm thinking that no. When you really think about it, it's not like that. Jewish people know a lot. They practice knowing a lot of things, and as like other people, there are many Jewish people who actually know the right answer, but they are being ignored. You see what I'm saying? Because there is this tradition of let's know, gather knowledge and know as much as we can about our environment, beside the statistics of in baseballs and yardage in football. Let's explore a little more about what's going on in the rest of the planet. That is a money thing. It has nothing to do with anybody's religion or ethnicity. That's a money thing. What am I saying? Mr. Jon Stewart produced a show that the system begrudgingly had to give him some awards for, begrudgingly, because a lot of the shows that he produced recently was right on the money, and the system literally begrudgingly had to give him some kind of recognition. They gave him a couple of awards for it, and the system blocked him. Apple said, nope, yes, we know you got some awards for it, but we have some Kardashians we want to show people. Please, there's a door. So they basically, this is a Jewish voice who's saying the right thing, but he's being silenced by whom? By Jewish people? No. Jon Stewart is being silenced by money, and it's mostly Gentile money. Apple owners and board of directors and major shareholders are all Gentile. 90% are Gentile. So you can't really say that this ethnicity's problem, or the Muslims are the problem. The Muslims are living in shit. Let's put it this way. The Muslims, look at it this way. In their normal circumstances, Muslims are living in shit. How can they be the cause of the problem? Because most of the problems that they have is because of poverty. So, when you increase the standard of living of a group of people, then their culture changes over time anyway. There's no need to go bomb them to change their culture. It's just about the money. It's not one ethnicity or the other. It's just that those Jewish voices, or those voices who supposedly want what's good for the Jewish people, that aligns with the system's narrative that yes, there needs to be an European country in Asia. Fuck you. You don't like it, you get out of Asia. We are not leaving. So, European colony, it has to be in Asia, and we are not leaving. You don't like it? Either you can, you can go away along with the flora and fauna, with the native flora and fauna. This is not a Jewish thing. This is, it has nothing to do with one religion or another. It has to do with empire and money. It's about the money. How much? Because a lot of people want to go and see that piece of land as a tourist. So I guess who controls it makes more money, or some situation. The Europeans and North Americans are getting something out of it as a major, military base, who's, their ally supposedly, and those guys are getting something out of it, and that is a lot of donations. I'm not sure if if any religion is okay with, yeah, let's get rid of the other tribe. This is not a religion thing. This is the rich boys making more money, and most of the rich boys are Gentile. The last I noticed, 90% of the money is in Gentile hand. The very and and beside the Gentiles to control the military and this and that and the other. So it's not a they told you guys that no, this must be this is a conspiracy of Soros, Moros, Toros. Not really. It's a conspiracy of money. It's the conspiracy of those who have money, want to keep their money and make more money, and those who don't, should just, stuff it. You can't do anything about it. This wasn't because, one form of economy is better than another form of economy, so let's go kick some ass in East Asia. Yes, Kissinger was an advisor. He was one Jewish guy who had some bad ideas. He didn't understand the concept of running an empire based on good common will. Running an empire based on good common will is the kind of empire that you tell those people on the peripheries that, hey, do you want 50,000 doctors? We got 50,000 extra here at the center of the empire. We are sending you 50,000 doctors. How about instead of 50,000 bombs, we're going to send you 50,000 doctors? Jon Stewart is an advocate of that. They shut him up. Apple TV, which itself is a very exclusive. I mean, Amazon couldn't pick up Jon Stewart? Of course not, because Amazon is part of the party. Amazon is in the party. Like Mr. David Chappelle said, it's basically Amazon is one of the major players of this party of riches, accumulation of the riches. And then funny thing, some riches get attacked in the street by the unlucky scumbags, and I saw another some rich guy's car was being attacked by a bunch of scumbags. But the idea is like, when you have so much discrepancy, so much difference in lifestyle of people who live in the same cities, even forget about same countries. The fucking Afghans are living in the Stone Age. They didn't need, we're gonna bomb Al Qaeda out. They would have, Afghanistan could have been won over, that instead of you sending the bombers, you could have sent 50,000 doctors. As a center of empire, the center of the empire has to have a giving hand, not a taking hand. So I'm here, you Afghanistan, you're at the periphery of the empire, we want you, so we're gonna come over there and, give it to you. Well, there is raping the girl, and then there is taking the girl out on a date. A date would be, here is 50,000 doctors. We're gonna give it to you, just for starters, so to calm the situation down in terms of, okay, here's 50,000 doctors a year later, and you say, okay, this guy you people have, like Al Qaeda, the one that attacked us last year, before we sent you 50,000 doctors? This guy blew a couple of apartments up in our neck of the woods. You've been using our doctors for free, 50,000 doctors for free for a year now. Could you tell them to hit the road or stop doing whatever shit they're doing, or bring them into your system and control them? Then the Taliban probably would have said, yes, Sahib, yes. This is one way of running an empire. But then the idea in this way of running an empire would be, we're going to produce excess doctors. The center of the empire should be producing excess doctors. You're not. You know, center. Then what is the center of the empire? The one who has the, you know, the most beautiful cars? What is the center of the empire? The ones who are rolling in, you know, coconut cream? No, if you want the empire to last, the center of the empire has to be the ones who, you know, people want to become part of your empire. If as an entrance fee you give them, imagine an empire being a nightclub. Instead of charging people to get into the empire, which is the current trend, imagine paying people to be in the empire. Paying people, not paper money, which, yeah, you know, that's the idea of, you know, your mouth writes a check that your ass can't cash. Not that kind of paper fiat money empire. The kind of, you know, empire that you send your excess doctors and engineer production to the third world, to the back world, to the fucking shitholes like Afghanistan. But you don't do that. You stop doing that. It was there until World War II, but right after World War II, for a decade or two after World War II, the United States was setting up universities across the planet. For at least a decade or two after World War II, along with the European Marshall Plan, the Uncle Sam's managers at that time, whoever they were, they invested monies in you know, American universities across the Middle East and Africa, and that was a good thing. But then suddenly this empire giving and attracting new members suddenly became a very paranoid empire that no, enough with the dating, we're gonna go and give it to them. Folks, you can date in an empire or you can rape in an empire. You know, because you are the center of the empire, somehow you obtain the power, because your, you know, your swords are sharper. But that's not a way to keep an empire. Salute. It's like trying to keep a family together by beating them. Sort of like, I'm sorry, why do you think this family has to be together if nobody wants to be there? Because, and they're just scared of, they don't want to run away from the empire. They're scared of running away from the empire because they're worried was what happened to Saddam would happen to them, or Gaddafi. So these were the ones who didn't want to just, they were trying to protect the family jewels. And as we can see with the situation in Iraq and Libya, with the fragile societies that they have, once you break that fragile system, what's going to go back is going to be shit. And it is. Surprise. So Mr. John Stewart, a Jewish guy, who's supposedly, you know, all this bullshit is made because of them. No, John Stewart is saying, well, this is the wrong way to go. What the fuck are we doing? We have to send them doctors. Instead, we are pulling their doctors and engineers to the center of the empire and leaving. Instead of we take their doctors and we send them bombs, and we take their engineers and we send them more bombs. Folks, the idea is that, the center should not supposed to, force the empire down people's throat. You want to go on a date with an empire to make new friends. You want to go on dates, not rapes, dates. That means you find, process, understand that how do I make more doctors and engineers, and then as soon as they're available, you send the excess to the shed holes. That's what Uncle Sam's managers were doing in the 1950s, I believe, 40s, 50s, some on 60s, and suddenly the paranoia set in, and because of communism, Islamism, thisism, thatism, everything went into the military. Oh no, you don't. We're not going to put up any American universities there. In fact, we're just going to put an American military base over there. In fact, you know what? That university that we just put there, we don't have the funds for that anymore. We're going to close it. So you close American universities and institutions across the planet, which you were doing on the right track. You close those institutions, had to close in many cases because you started putting up military bases. Paranoia was in that, those Easterners, the Russians, Easterners on planet Earth, those Easterners want more under their empire, so we're going to starve their empire because our empire is better, because our empire is, has capitalism as its form of economy. So our empire has to show that empire that their form of economy, which is collectivism, is the wrong way to go. So we're going to starve them to death. And we're going to have a Cold War and try to starve each other to death. Paranoia. Folks, you can have an empire. Empire is great stuff. Empire is great stuff. But you can have an empire. But we have an empire, and then we have an empire. Why is it that, Henry Kissinger is promoted with his bad ideas, and, Jon Stewart is demoted because of his good ideas? Jon Stewart is demoted even after the system had to provide him with couple of awards, begrudgingly, because it was eye-opening for many. So this is a Jewish guy doing a very interesting work, positive work, is sent on his way with his tail between his legs. What the fuck did he do wrong? Except inform people of very things that they were very ignorant about. Who wants to shut him up? Money. A lot of people are making a lot of money out of people's ignorance. He's exposing those ignorance, and suddenly the large money is not happy. So they cut his feet after winning awards. Here's the awards. This is not a Jewish problem. I love Jewish people. Noam Chomsky was sent to Arizona to, mummify, and Henry Kissinger was picked up by the White House to indulge. Most of his ideas were peaceful ideas, and most of Henry Kissinger's ideas were, warlike ideas. The idea that you take what you want. Henry Kissinger, Noam Chomsky is the other Jewish guy and they're basically, they match each other's age. Henry Kissinger and Noam Chomsky. Noam Chomsky was the guy who says, yeah, let's produce 50,000 more doctors and send it over there, and they will come to the empire on their own. They will want to date us as the center of the empire. That's one way of building an empire. That you produce excess, and excess of what? Okay, excess of grain, it's great. The excess American grain that is feeding the world is marvelous. I guess some of it is exported, or else they wouldn't be turning it into fuel. But so I'm saying that, okay, you see how when you feed them with the corn, that's an advantage. They would want to be part of an empire that sends its excess to the peripheries. That's great for agriculture, in regards to agriculture. But you understand that with regards to everything else, medicine and engineering and healthcare, if you can, send them your excess, then, excuse me, if you can send them your excess, then you have an empire. Then the people will be banging on your door wanting to join the empire. The idea of these old kings having a whole a whole house full of women, these old kings. So, and many of those women that the kings had were there willingly. None of them were forced to become the king's wife, because living in the king's house is, very good for your health. So you want to join the king's house. That's, that is the kind of empire you want. Which, all the women are all other countries are the women in what you call haram sara, which is basically the king's house with 50 women. The point is this: that's the kind of empire that you want. You're the king of the empire, and all these countries want to date you. Why? Because they're getting something out of it, not bombs. They don't want to date you if you're bombing them. They don't want to date you if you're bombing them. They would want to date you if you send them doctors. But the problem is, again, it's not a Jewish idea that you're not producing enough teachers. John Stewart's mother herself was a teacher. I think, I believe, I read it somewhere, heard it somewhere. The point is this: you're telling me that you don't have enough money to make teachers, to make doctors, because it's a very expensive business. Why teaching is an expensive business in your planet, or in your neck of the wood on the planet? Why teaching is so expensive? One guy sitting and explaining to other guys what he thinks, and they're all reading from the same book. Why is this so expensive? They're all reading more or less the same book, and they have one teacher per teaching whatever he knows extra in excess of the book, or practically. Why is it so expensive? It shouldn't be. You're basically saying that we don't have enough funds to teach people, so we can have 50,000 doctors in excess of our own country. Why? Is there, because there's a fee involved, you want to keep the prices up? Why? again, goes back to the money. This is not a Jewish problem. This is a money problem. They're making education very expensive and not very good. So you don't have enough even for your own needs. So you have to have an influx of foreign doctors and engineers. An empire which attracts the brains and sends bombs to the periphery wherever they meet resistance, that's not the kind of empire you want to have. That's just not. Because it's not sustainable. Because, when everybody has had enough, getting beaten up and bruised, and you're still looking for allies to, go into more war. And Jon Stewart comes and says, yeah, maybe we shouldn't be looking for allies. Maybe we start making some doctors and then send our excess to over there instead of bombs. And the system says, Apple TV says, no, thank you, though, thank you. Please don't let the door hit you in the ass. He's Jewish. Apparently his Jewish credentials is not good enough for Apple TV. They need somebody who talks in a way, thinks in a way that they can make more money. Okay, fine, making more money is always good, but to keep an empire together, to make more money, you have to be able to send your excesses. So they would want to join your house. Not pull them from their house, but kicking and screaming. And I was watching this video of these fucking shitholes in Afghanistan. They're old, a very older gentleman buying a very young girl as a bride. And still it was clear that everyone involved was, if not singing and dancing about it, they have been in an agreement that a need was met, a service was picked up, a need was met, so a fee was exchanged. And they hold this as a bad thing. Yes, bad thing. The girl is too. But remember, when they're too young for. But remember, when over there, they don't live to 90. They live to 40s, 50s, if they're lucky to 60s. When the average age is not there, so the whole idea of they have a specific name for this. The age at which average people die, when it's so low, you can forgive them for that. But the problem is, it's not rape. It's ugly process, traditional process of doing things over there, and people are abhorred about it. People, really were mad about it with their comments, and we understand. But you do understand. So if you understand that, and you're so sensitive that you say that no, even if it has been accepted by both sides, still it's not good. If you understand that, then why do you think dealing with countries on the other side of the planet by way of your brute force is a good idea? In order to convert them to your fate. Capitalism, democracy, all of that. In order to convert them to your fate, whatever fate recently you have chosen that is important to you, be it capitalism or democracy or whichever one is the next. For doing that, you don't have to, you don't have to take them kicking and screaming. Even in the Afghan situation, the horrible situation in Afghanistan, they still work out a deal, and both sides are happy. This is when I say that, not if not singing and dancing, at least both sides are satisfied with the deal that they have made. So even that is not rape. But going over there and saying that, Afghanistan, you have to hand over the keys or we're going to break in the door. We're not going to send you any doctors. We're not going to send you as a center of an empire. Look at it. Look at yourself as a center of empire who wants to invite new members into the empire. The interaction between the United States, Uncle Sam's managers, and Afghanistan, a shithole like Afghanistan, should be the whole idea of trying to, like that man trying to work out the deal with the family of that young girl. You gotta come to some kind of a deal that at least the parents are happy. The parents of that country are happy. A kind of a deal that says, yeah, maybe not many of us die here and go hungry, and if you can send us some doctors, yeah, why not? We join the empire. But the business of making empire is not profitable in Uncle Sam's land. So they have to charge a lot of money for it to make it profitable. So Uncle Sam's managers don't have access doctors and engineers. I'm sorry. Not only they don't have excess, they import much of the rest of the world. And then if anybody objects, we're going to bomb them. That's not keeping a good household. As a man of the house, you want to attract the members of your family to yourself. Members of the family are the members of the empire. In order to attract them, you have to be a good guy. Send them doctors. Take them to doctors. And take them to good schools. But every school has to be good. You can't say that, oh no, my kids are going to good school. I don't care about other people's kids in my society. Then what the fuck, your kid, which society do you think your kid is going to be living in? A well-educated guy in a society of not well-educated? Your child probably is going to want to kill himself after he finds out how uneducated the other people are, if his education is really good. So, because, again, the professor in the monkey house, the professor is going to commit suicide, not the monkey. So, folks, this is not a Jewish problem. This is a problem with mostly Gentile money. This is the problem of mostly Gentile money. World War II, it wasn't about Nazism and it wasn't about ideology. No. World War II was the Germans and the British having a misunderstanding about money. The upper echelon of the British society and the upper echelon of the German society having a misunderstanding with regards to money. And both these fucking upper houses of these societies both upper houses were related. You have German blood in the British royal family, and you have British blood in German royal family. So these and they're commoners too. They're very similar. Anglo-Saxons. They're very similar. So World War II, it wasn't about any ideology. World War II was about my money or your money. And all the money went back to Uncle Sam. the British and the Germans fought, they both lost, and all the money went to Uncle Sam's managers. Yeah, you think the British won? No, if the British were still paying off their debt to Uncle Sam with regards to arms that they used from Uncle Sam, they were still paying their debt until recently, I believe. Within the last decade, sometimes they stopped paying. So they were still paying for World War II weapons that they used. So imagine that the British upper echelon of the British society, who are Anglo-Saxon, and the upper echelon of the German society, who are also Anglo-Saxon, they had an issue over money because the British want to, can, from their shady little island, they can blockade Europe somehow. If the Uncle Sam's managers are behind them, they can blockade Europe. So Germans, if they can't trade by water, they're stuck. They can't make money. So the idea was my money or your money. The British wanted the toll of allowing Germany to do business. The Germans weren't willing to pay the toll. And it's very difficult for Germany to fight its way out of the Baltics. So, and the British idea has always been to prevent the Russians and the Germans from getting together. Because if they get, if the Russians and the Germans get together, the two of them can break out of the Baltics. Not each one of them by themselves. So it's the British idea that the Germans and the Russians can't be together. We understand, but do you see the problem here? You're thinking paranoid. You're thinking, who's my teammate? There's no need for that. Have you thought of maybe start producing doctors instead of arms? So maybe you can, go on date with those countries that you want to join the empire instead of trying to go on a rampage of rape. Just simple. The answer is we want to date Afghanistan. We want to date Iraq. That means we are such a rich, powerful empire that we are going to help them get off their knees. We're going to send them doctors and engineers because we want them to be in our empire. That's the trade-off. I want you to be in my house, so I pay whoever I have to pay, who was the reason for your creation. I pay your people living on this land by doctors. I pay you by doctors and engineers and civil servants. I provide you with these things so your system can run better. I'm not going to come over there with my military, try to implement a system for you. Do you know how far apart these two do you know how far apart these two worlds are? The world of Uncle Sam's general and the world of Afghan warlord. These two are so far apart mentally, culturally, that you think that you can go over there. It's very ignorant to think that, yes, I can go over there and reason with them and tell them how this system of governance works. You have the office of this and the office of that and the office of... Who thought this is a good idea? They do understand doctors, they don't understand Office of Communicative Affairs. They don't understand that, but they do understand the doctor which, fixes their broken knee. Hopefully I won't need one. If they do understand that doctor, you don't need to go with the military to try to bring them up to your standards. You know how far you are apart in terms of standards of conduct, even? Very far apart. It's not reachable within one or two lifetime. But so there is not, you can't, you know, stuff your form of government up their ass because it's just they're not, it's not meant for them at this time in their evolution, in the evolution of their shithole. It's in the evolution of their shithole. They have had a lot of problems, including the British and recently you folks. And before that, the fucking every goddamn empire builder passed through there and cut them down in half multiple times. From the Mongols to the Tatars to the as the old world was. Everywhere you fucking monkeys have been living. The point is this, folks. There are Jewish voices who are very much more reasonable and much more thoughtful than than Mr. Henry Kissinger, but they were shut up. Noam Chomsky would say, yes, create an empire, that's a great idea. Noam Chomsky is for the empire. But his idea is that, yes, creating an empire, that's no problem. It's just, don't try to rape them. Bring them into the folds of the empire by providing them with things that they haven't been able to produce themselves. Corn is good, thank you very much. But then doctors and engineers and scientists and teachers and universities. Up to the 40s, 50s, there were all these American universities all over the world. And somewhere in the 50s, the whole system, Uncle Sam's managers became paranoid, and everything from all the American universities overnight turned into American military bases. Oh, what the fuck? You were dating everybody, then you decided to, nope, from now on we're going to run this bitch. There's no need for running this bitch. You can, if you can buy the bitch. There's no need to run it forcefully. You're nice to them, they're nice to you, you get married. Simple. But you're nice to them because you have the upper hand in terms of you are the center of the empire. This is what Jon Stewart was trying to say, which Apple TV comes out and says, oh, no, thank you very much. Please, see your way out. Jon Stewart. Fuck you, Apple. Good thing I never had one. No, folks, there are many good voices in the Jewish community. It's just big money doesn't want them to speak. They promote Henry Kissinger and they demote Noam Chomsky. They promote whoever they're promoting now, and then they demote Jon Stewart. Ben Shapiro, they promote Ben Shapiro and they demote Jon Stewart. This is not the work of Jewish people. They're both Jewish. One has left, and one is in the dark side. The other one is not. One has some sadistic ideas. It says, yeah, you should go really up the ass. And the other guy said, no, let's not, let's not do that. And you're thinking to yourself, who are they promoting and who are they demoting? They're promoting one Jewish guy who has very bad ideas, and yet they're demoting another Jewish guy who has very good ideas. The problem is not the Jewish people. The problem is big money. The problem is the big money behind Apple. Forget about the, garage. Forget about the garage, where it came from. Where it is and who owns Apple is who owns the society. And, there, very, very few hands own very big chunks of the stock market. So these people run the society. They tell Apple what is allowed and what is not allowed. What is not allowed is John Stewart speaking some truth. That's not allowed. So please, don't let the door hit you in the ass.